Number 5, Cyberpunk 2077, the obligatory game that's going to be on this list. Now, I've got to say, I barely played The Witcher 3. I was not that interested. I don't really know a lot about CD Projekt Red, so I was not on the hype train. To be honest, I didn't even give two shits about Cyberpunk 2077. I wasn't even going to buy the game. I only bought the game because critics said it was amazing. It got 91, I think, on Metacritic at the time, and I thought, you know what? Okay, if it's that great, I'll give it a go. We all know how that turned out. When I was playing it, all I kept thinking was, this feels like a 360 game. This is not a next-gen game whatsoever. The NPCs are brain dead, the graphics are bad, and if I'm honest, even without all the bugs, I don't think the game was super mega interesting. Night City is really cool for the first 10 minutes when you're walking around. It's very immersive, but I mean, the story wasn't super engaging. I didn't really care about Jackie that much. Weirdly enough, the best parts, in my opinion, were when you play as Johnny Silverhand. It just felt like a focused action game. I don't know why they just didn't go that route, honestly. At least dip their toes in and get the mechanics right. Do that game with Johnny, then go to the Cyberpunk open world one. That would have been a good move, maybe. What do I know? I made FLAPPATRON, so. Number 4, Godfall. Now, again, I didn't have any hype for this game. I wasn't thinking, oh my God, it's gonna be amazing. Reviews were very middling and average, and I thought, you know what? It can't be that bad, you know what I mean? It's gotta be at least fun. But yeah, it's the most average game I think I've ever played. The most memory I have of playing this game was I was playing it during the Game Awards. I had 2 TVs set up, and I was just playing it in the background while the Game Awards was going on, because obviously I wanted to watch the trailers and stuff. And yeah, you just kill stuff, and you get some XP, and there's loot, and it's just a game. I've got to admit though, the game does look amazing, especially in HDR. Oof. But everything else is a bit, you can't even play it online with randomers, so I had no one to play it with. I kept playing, you know, single player the whole game. None of my friends had this game either, unless I'm just stupid and there is an option to, but there was no option that I could see, so. If there is, let me know, because maybe the game will be better if I do that, but I mean, I do want to beat it at some point just because I got this weird complex about I have to beat games, but yeah, I wouldn't really recommend playing it. Number 3, Tell Me Why. This one's a weird one. I like narrative-focused games where it's got choices, etc., etc., and I barely remember the trailer for this game, and I also didn't want to know anything about this game. I love going into a game and not knowing anything about it, so I really tried to avoid trailers and all that kind of thing. But it was a Microsoft exclusive. The thumbnail looked quite interesting. So yeah, you boot it up and it's just so mundane. I guess it won an award at the Game Awards for because of the main character is trans, and I guess that's cool for people who are trans. They can identify with just main character. But I'm gonna be honest, the main character is so unlikable. The sister is also unlikable. All the characters are boring. The story is boring. For some reason there's this weird obsession with goblins in the game. I've got to admit, we didn't even finish episode 1. We got that bored. To be honest, the only thing that was interesting about the game was the fact that the main character had transitioned, you know, their kind of struggle, but at the same time, the character was so unlikable and just kept fucking having a go at everybody. I just found the game really grating, and I feel like it's a missed opportunity here because they could have made a story about this person transitioning and maybe write in a way where people who don't understand this could kind of get to grips with it, but no, just bad. Number 2, when we get to the juicy stuff here, Doom Eternal. I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, what? Are you fucking serious? Doom Eternal's amazing. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Doom Eternal. It's a good game. Is it great, though? The Doom reboot absolutely nailed it. It was an amazing game, so I was super hyped for Doom Eternal. But in my opinion, they just made it a bit too overly complicated. I just personally don't like the whole juggling of all the stats with the flamethrower and getting the armor. You run out of ammo so quickly, so you gotta keep chainsawing guys, gotta keep punching them for your health. It's just a weird micromanaging shooter simulator. The platforming as well just felt a bit off. Like there were parts where I kept dying and I was thinking, how? Like I'm on the platform and it just felt a little bit janky. Not to say Doom Eternal's a bad game. I'm just disappointed in it. I thought it could be a lot better. They overcomplicated things, and the story as well. I don't remember what happened in the story. I remember one part of the story where the guy spoke, and that's it. Essentially, someone who absolutely loved the reboot, I just found this one to be a bit underwhelming, unfortunately. But it's not a bad game, and it is on Game Pass, so I mean, yeah, I recommend checking it out, but just disappointing for me. Number 1, Crash 4, It's About Time. Am I the only one who thought Crash 4 was just there. I'm a mega Crash fan. I love the Insane trilogy especially. So obviously I'm going to be super pumped for Crash 4, but I just felt like it didn't really deliver. I mean, the graphics look amazing. I love the direction they're going with the writing and the comedy. But when it comes to gameplay, there's something about it. I wasn't that bothered about playing as the other characters like Cortex and Dingadar, etc. While it's cool, it's a cool addition, I didn't even go back and beat those levels because I just wasn't that interested. And there are some great levels in there. I love the one with all the balloons, etc. It's really cool. I just found it a bit too gimmicky, and also the challenge there just felt a bit too trial and error. Like, there's no way in hell you would even be able to beat this first try on your very first go. There's just no way. I'm not the best gamer of all time, but I'm pretty good at games, and even I found this just a little bit infuriating and a bit annoying. Not to mention when it comes to getting the gems and all the platinums, all that stuff. And after seeing Kalikarus's video on that, I'm so glad I did not even attempt to pursue it. Once I beat the game, I honestly was just so done with it. I didn't want to play it anymore. I also don't think it helped because I played it with 4 other people at the same time on launch night. And we tried the multiplayer where I guess you kept swapping the controller around. It just kind of ruined the flow, especially since I just wanted to beat the level and my brother was like, no, we gotta get every single box. So he would take 20 years getting all the boxes, and then maybe that hindered the experience a little bit. I suppose I'm just used to Insane Trilogy, especially the first game where you can get all the boxes on most levels on the first playthrough. So while Crash 4 does have its moments and it's not a bad game, there's something about it I'm not hot on. I think some of the hit detection on the boxes are a bit bad. I think some of the levels are a bit convoluted. And if I'm honest, it just felt like a bit of a slog. I just wanted to finish it just so I could say I finished it and I played Crash 4. I honestly wouldn't even want to go back and play the game. I have no desire to go back and play through Crash 4 again, which I think kind of shows how disappointed I was in the product. But yeah, that's my personal top 5 disappointing games of 2020. Leave a comment down below what are yours, and I'll see you in the next video. So have a wonderful day.